You ready?
Yes, I am.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Paul, you got an... In January, Stony Brook hosted Albany and came up short on their home floor, losing by just 2. Tonight, the Great Danes are on their home court, and the Sea Wolves are looking for payback. It is next. Arena on the campus of the University at Albany, we welcome you to America East basketball, where tonight Stony Brook has come to the Capitol to take on the Great Danes. These two teams bunched up in a very tight middle of the pack in the America East standings. Stony Brook comes in 4th place with a half-game lead over Albany. And we welcome you courtside here to Sefcu Arena. Eric Fried alongside Frank Sullivan. We are getting into the home stretch here in the America East Conference. Just 4 games to go in conference play for Albany, 3 for Stony Brook, so it's crunch time.
It is urgency time as well. All the conversation is about the scenarios that could develop in the tournament. Both of these teams tonight come in with interesting momentum. Stony Brook has won 4 out of 6, Great Danes 4 out of 7. Seawolves sit in 4th place, but a Great Dane win tonight puts them right there, side by side, locked in 4th.
Stony Brook coming off an overtime victory last time out against the University of Maine down on Long Island, and Brian Dewar led the way with 20 points coming all in the second half in overtime.
Well, Stony Brook's all-time three-point guy has a crafty floor game, strong command of the dribble, excellent behind the three-point line, mid-range game. This is where he hurt you, Eric, deep in those corners.
Dewar was on target in the win against Maine, and Tim Ambrose has done the same for Albany all season long.
Well, the Great Danes have led the conference all season long in three-point field goal percentage, and the major reason is Tim, 41% from the three-point line. Only needs 6 points tonight to get to 1,500 career points. What a milestone.
It is our star watch here this evening. Dewar is the leading scorer for Stony Brook. He is one of the best shooters and the all-time leader in three-pointers made in Stony Brook history. As for Ambrose, Frank mentioned, lots of balance. 2nd on the league in scoring, 4th in the league in steals, 5th in the league in assists. So 2 of the very best going head-to-head tonight here in Albany. The last time the Great Danes were home, they beat Hartford in a tight game. The Great Danes are back home to face Stony Brook. The lineups and the tip coming up next.
America East is on the rise. We're on the move. We have so many strengths in this conference, from the students who are making a difference in their communities to our alumni who are changing the world.
Ultimately, we're about preparing young people for the rest of their lives. I'm very proud to say in America East, we do a great job.
Every day, we're helping to create leaders. We've accomplished so much, but we're just getting started.
Newman's Own. It all started with Paul Newman's homemade salad dressing. Soon others joined the family. Now we've jumped from the salad bowl into the pizza pan with Newman's Own Pizza. All natural, thin and crispy crust, generously topped with top-of-the-crop toppings for cheese, pepperoni, supreme, and more. Newman's Own Foundation continues Paul Newman's commitment to donate all profits to charity. Newman's Own is proud to sponsor the America East Basketball Championships at the University of Hartford, March 3rd through 6th.
America East basketball is brought to you by Newman's Own. Let the food speak for itself. Welcome back to CEFCU Arena, just moments away from the 54th meeting all-time between Albany and Stony Brook. Here are the starting lineups. First for the visiting Seawolves, who have 11 wins on the season, 6 in conference play. They've won 2 in a row. Brian Dewar, Marcus Rouse. Leonard Hayes is quite a story how he has come on as of late. We'll get into detail about Leonard coming up along the way here. And Danny Carter and Dallas Joyner up front. For Albany, Mike Black, Tim Ambrose, Logan Arenalt, Luke Devlin, Blake Metcalf getting the start here tonight. Metcalf, it's his first start this season. He made 10 starts last year as a freshman. He replaces John Puck in the starting lineup, who will come off the bench for the Great Danes. Steve Peichel in his 6th season as Stony Brook's head coach. It has been a battle for Peichel. His team last year was the regular season champs. They have battled so many injuries this year. And on the other end, Will Brown in his 10th season, the longest tenured head coach in America East. His team has been a little bit better than expected, trying to get a little momentum here towards the end of the season. Brian Dorsey, Mike Stevens, John Gill, our officiating crew, and we are underway here at CEFCU. Albany in their home white. They win the tip, and we're underway. These are two teams that really try to think defense first when it comes to winning basketball games. Arenalt on the pull-up. The final score of the first meeting kind of spells that out a little bit. 52-50, a game that went right down to the wire between Stony Brook and Albany on Long Island.
This is a bit of a change for Albany. They've played a lot of zone this year. Starting out in man-to-man, just like the Seawolves.
Dewar for Marcus Rouse. Danny Carter for Hayes.
And honestly, I think it caught the red shirts by surprise.
5 on the shot clock, and Dewar takes a tough shot. It won't go down. Joyner got a fingertip on it, and the rebound comes to Albany, and here's Mike Black.
Yeah, watch the speed by Mike in the open court. Number 10 White.
The feed inside, and an early 2 for the man getting the surprise start, Blake Metcalf.
Just what you want to do to the new starter. Get him going early, give him a nice touch inside. Terrific feed.
Will Brown hasn't been getting a lot of scoring production from that position, and right away Metcalf, averaging 4 points a game, rewards the start to get Albany going.
And we see the Great Danes in their traditional zone matchup defense.
The feed inside to Joyner, who can't finish.
Sure just dunked the basketball. He was there, had the legs.
Black has it stripped by Dewar and taken away by Joyner. Dewar off and running the other way for Stony Brook.
Now the Seawolves will settle in. Brian playing the point right now against man-to-man.
Joyner spinning inside. Tough shot. He'll make that one. And the foul, a chance for a three-point play. Great response by Dallas Joyner after the miss a moment ago.
But how about Blake Metcalf just getting the start tonight? First one of the season. His teammates know that. They want him to relax and contribute. Logan Arenalt throwing a beautiful pass into the low post. But what a difference at the other end as he goes on defense. Dallas Joyner with the power, finishing with his left hand. That's a right-handed player, finishing it off with the left.
The foul was called on Metcalf as Joyner, who struggled from the free throw line, finishes off the three-point play. So Stony Brook on top 3-2. Logan Arenalt, number 2 scorer on this team, 6th in the conference. Keep an eye on number 2 right now, defended by Hayes.
Marcus Rouse.
The turnaround inside, count it.
Marcus Rouse
Devlin
with the Tim Ambrose matchup, but a nice move inside. So the Great Danes going to the big fellas. A team dominated by perimeter scoring. It's gone to the big guys to get the early points.
Can they have success on the inside here against the Stony Brook team?
And very important for them to at least establish a presence early in the game to open up that perimeter for these deep shooters that they have with Tim Ambrose, Mike Black, Logan Arenalt.
When it comes to defending the perimeter, Stony Brook's very good. They lead the conference in three-point field goal percentage defense at 30%. So Albany trying to attack the basket. They have a 4-3 lead, and now Stony Brook winding down the shot clock here. Hayes can't hit, and the rebound comes to Metcalf. 3 minutes into the game. Arnold, they try to feed it inside again, but this time they can't connect with Devlin.
Beautiful
Back
pass.
the other way, and Joyner, another miss on a chance to finish. Worked around to Hayes, and he's off the mark, but the follow-up is good from Marcus Rouse.
Good job by Marcus, just being available. You saw Brian Dewar pass up the shot, get it ahead to Leonard Hayes, the hot player recently for Stony Brook. Good floor sense by Dewar, advancing the basketball.
Broken up by Dewar. Rouse double pump inside. No, Joyner grabs it. He has it knocked away, and it's pulled back the other way by Arnold. Mike Black will pull up. Too strong, and Joyner trying to rip away the rebound. And a little game of twister in the paint. Who got tangled up in there? It was Rouse and Metcalf. Well, Dallas Joyner's had some opportunities here to put away a couple of field goals, and we have seen Dallas elevate and get up above the rim and have no trouble finishing, but so far a problem here today. The foul on...
Look at that Rouse, right? The miss, right? Good run by Dallas Joyner, getting ahead of the pack. That's a piece of cake for him. He should have brought it down a little bit stronger in the dunk.
And now a foul called on Albany. Puck has checked into the game. And Mike Black gets whistled for the foul. That's the first foul on Black, the second team foul.
One thing we'll see from Coach Peichel, he'll bring a lot of players in during this first half, because you see Anthony Mayo now in the 5 spot for Dallas Joyner.
Mayo wearing number 32. Dewar drops it off to Hayes. Open 3 on the way is good. Leonard Hayes did not play in the first Albany game. Has not played in 6 games this year, yet he has emerged as their number 3 scorer in conference play.
Shooting 44% from behind the 3-point line in the last 7 games.
Arnold back off to Ambrose. Nothing going so far for Tim Ambrose. Hasn't attempted a shot yet in this game. And a traveling violation will give the ball back to Stony Brook. That's the 5th turnover for Albany here in the first 4.5 minutes of the game. Leonard Hayes, a sophomore out of New Jersey in Lawrenceville Prep, who's come on as of late for Stony Brook, has the Seawolves on top by 4.
20 student athletes from the 9 schools in the America East Conference got together not to trash talk, but to talk about what really matters most in sports, sportsmanship.
When you go out on the court, you go out on the field, you're just being respectful.
We all want to win, but we also want to win the right way.
Honesty, trust, and respect.
And putting your whole heart into the sport.
Building up yourself and the opponent rather than cutting you down.
It brings out our dignity. Don't hate the player or the game.
Sportsmanship. It matters in America East.
Is going to the tournament for the 2nd straight year. For the first time since 2005, Catamount Country is championship country.
Be there at the University of Hartford when the Catamounts defend their America East Championship. For tickets, call 860-768-HAWK or log on to americaeast.com. Start for Stony Brook. They have taken advantage of 5 Albany turnovers. All 8 of the Stony Brook points have come off turnovers to make it an 8-4 game.
And they create about 13 a game, almost 14, second in the conference right now. But for Coach Peichel, the defense has kept them close in every game this season. Very solid defensively.
Jacob Yachty is on for Albany, wearing 0. Also, Ralph Watts, freshman out of Peekskill, is on, number 22. Carter around for Rouse.
The change in defense, back to the matchup zone.
8 on the shot clock. Dewar dribbling through traffic. The
pass.
nice dish to Hayes, who can't reverse it in. And the rebound grab by Devlin, who's 9th in the conference in rebounding.
Good job by the Great Danes again. They're getting Stony Brook to go very deep in the shot clock.
Ralph Watts. And off the fingertips, and another turnover for Albany. Great Danes not helping themselves here in this game. As Frank mentioned, Albany averaging about 13 turnovers a game. They are last in the conference when it comes to turnover margin.
Coach Will Brown moving the pickup point now off the turnover. Just move it down the court a little bit. Fall back into the zone.
Anthony Jackson, number 4, freshman out of Columbus, Ohio. He's on, as is Priye Preboye, who did not play in the last 2 games. Feed inside to Mayo. That won't go. Mayo doesn't give up on the glass. Carter with the tip. Preboye fighting inside. That's blocked and taken away by Yachty, and a foul on Preboye.
Give Jacob Yachty credit. Preboye rebounded the basketball, brought it down rather than chesting it or chinning the basketball. Jake Yachty, just a good presence to rip it away. He gets the reactionary foul.
There you see Eric McAllister, freshman from New Jersey, Hightstown. The feed inside to Puck. Puck turns inside for 2. Been a while since he had scored.
Yeah, 5 games in a row now he hadn't scored. Out of the starting lineup, off the bench tonight, scoring easily. Might be the medicine.
McAllister turns around, open look for 2.
Now Eric McAllister, yeah, he's a guy who just needs a little bit of confidence. You know, Coach Peichel, as we talked about, never afraid to go to his bench. You've always got to be ready in the first half if you're a Stony Brook player on the bench.
Ambrose guarded by Rouse. Rouse got good speed, and he tried to body Ambrose on his way to the basket. Now outside Devlin, and Watts will reset. 10-6, Stony Brook in red. 9 on the shot clock for Albany. Ambrose, good shooter. Not this time. And chasing it down is Devlin.
It was one of those few times where the rebound went to the shooter's side of the court. You can see Coach Peichel very animated right now, bringing guys off the bench, trying to generate some energy on the road, doing it with substitutions and doing it with his own personal energy, coaching this defense in front of their bench.
Well, it's been a couple of good weeks here for Peichel's team as he tries to settle things down and find a rotation here with all the injuries and illness and absences. They won at New Hampshire, played well in that game, and then beat Maine as Ambrose gets it to the hoop and picks up the foul, a chance for a 3-point play. So Stony Brook comes in here, winners of back-to-back games, and looking good in doing so, and it'll be a challenge for Albany here tonight, and Ambrose up to the challenge on that drive.
You know, one thing we say about Tim, always creates his shot as well as anybody in this league, but you see the power that he has. This is a power backcourt player who can absorb contact and get the and one. What a career he has had. One of only 2 players to score 1,400 points, have 500 rebounds, and over 250 assists in his career.
Yeah, and it's not really a fair trivia question. I mean, if you're going to ask who's the other one in Albany history, I mean, isn't every answer Jamar Wilson? Pretty good company to have,
you know it.
Tim
You know it.
Inside of 13 minutes to play as Albany has brought it to 1. Hayes, good first step, and rejected by Puck. And look at the fight by the young man, the freshman from Iowa, coming off the bench and playing well. Puck with 33 blocks now in the season. He's 4th in America East. Mike Black. Watts, he'll try a 3. Watts now 5 of 19 from outside the line this season. Not really his game, but had the open look. Now McAllister, Dallas Joyner.
This is the point guard of the future for the Seawolves. Anthony Jackson brings great energy off the bench. You can see him directing the team.
Inside of 12 to play for Boyer. The pull-up is good.
Good job by Pre, putting the ball on his non-dominant hand, his right hand, get to the pull-up. You see AJ right there, point guard of the future. Allows him to get Brian Dewar off the basketball.
For Boyer averaging 3 a game. Mike Black calling for it. Can't make the shot, and the foul is going to be called on Albany's Luke Devlin. That'll get us to a timeout. The play by John Puck, the 6'10", 240-pound freshman from Waterloo, Iowa, on the defensive end with the block and the battle after. 3-point game.
Newman's Own. It all started with Paul Newman's homemade salad dressing. Soon others joined the family. Now we've jumped from the salad bowl into the pizza pan with Newman's Own pizza. All natural, thin and crispy crust, generously topped with top-of-the-crop toppings for cheese, pepperoni, supreme, and more. Newman's Own Foundation continues Paul Newman's commitment to donate all profits to charity. Newman's Own is proud to sponsor the America East Basketball Championships at the University of Hartford, March 3rd through 6th.
Those 3 guards are dangerous. They're very experienced. They played a lot of minutes. You know, so we got our work cut out for us, and Albany's always a tough place to play, so we got to play well, and I think our guys are excited. We're playing a lot of games in a short period of time. I worry about their bodies a little bit, but we'll get through today, and then we'll worry about the rest.
We have to get some easy baskets, some baskets in transition. We have to get to the free throw line. We've got to get some baskets in transition. You know, and I think we have to limit Stony Brook's easy baskets. We have to force them to be a contested jump shooting team, and we have to do a good job on Dewar.
Thoughts from the 2 head coaches just before this game, with Stony Brook on top of Albany 12-9. Albany won at Stony Brook in the first meeting this season by 2, 52-50. Your thoughts on how this matchup has played out so far? And we knew defense would be first in this game.
Yeah, I think it will be. Contesting shots, you can see right now, Albany has not made a 3 right now. Stony Brook, the #1 defensive team, the 3-point field goal defense.
Ambrose, shut off by Joyner and Carter. That 3 attempt is in and out, and a foul called on Dallas Joyner.
Dallas just pushing off on the block out. Was a good look from behind the 3-point line for the Great Danes, but again, have not made a 3, and they have led this conference from beginning to end in 3-point field goal percentage all season long, the Great Danes.
That's in and out, and Perboye has the rebound off the miss by Arnold, looking for his first points.
This is the easy baskets that Coach Brown was talking about.
Dewar well off the mark, and Arnold has it up for Black.
Coach Brown talking about easy baskets. Well, conversion defense is the way to stop easy baskets.
Again, they feed the post, and there's been success on the inside for Albany tonight.
And right now for the Seawolves, they haven't had good help defense on the other side of that post, so that lob passing angle has been available all night.
6 of the 11 points for Albany have been in the paint.
It's a good thing right now if you're the coach at Albany. Getting these front court players some easy touches and easy scores.
Dallas Joyner trying to work on Metcalf, and a foul called on sophomore Blake Metcalf. Well, this play has been there on the other end for Albany.
Watch this play at the end. We're just going to see another lob pass in the side. And you'll see no help defense at the rim. Very easy to lob the ball. And Blake Metcalf getting another good opportunity on the right block, going to his right hand, and a nice lob pass. And I think if you're Stony Brook right now, you can't get lifted on the weak side. You got to help out in the lane.
Question is, will Metcalf's chances continue? He just picked up his second personal foul, and he will check out.
Really too bad. An opportunity to start, has 4 points right away.
Luke Devlin is back on.
This guy here, 23 red, Dallas Joyner, is a tough cover in the slow post. Very good with his footwork.
Joyner will head to the bench after the free throw is made. 4 points for Dallas Joyner, 2-point lead. Ambrose, 3 on the way, and another miss as Albany is now 0 for 5 outside the three-point line. Again, as Frank mentioned, #1 in the conference at 37% on the season. Hayes has taken a lot of shots here in the early going. He's 1 for 6, and a foul is called on Albany on the rebound.
Yeah, just a little bit too much pushing. Tim Ambrose pulled down one of the Stony Brook players right there, 21, Al Rapier. Gives Stony Brook the ball along the baseline.
4 team fouls on Albany. First personal on Ambrose halfway through this first half, with Stony Brook on top by 2. Brian Dewar yet to score here tonight. 5 different scores already for Stony Brook, with 13 on the board. Hayes for Dewar.
Yeah, you can see they switch out every time they can to Brian Dewar, just trying to push him out.
Dewar has it knocked away, 4 on the shot clock. Rouse has to put it up. Too strong, and Arenal has the rebound. Albany's been good on the inside. We've seen that.
Yeah, much
outside
better.
the arc's been a problem.
Much better help as they tried to go into the post that time, Eric, on the weak side.
Arenal drops it off for Ambrose. He'll try another 3, and that is good. A 3-pointer for Tim Ambrose, who had missed his first 3, and the team had missed their first 5 3-pointers, and Tim Ambrose has 6. That puts him right at 1,500 even for his Albany career.
It's a lot of points, and not necessarily all from the three-point line. He gets to the free throw line as well as anybody through the years, but this is one thing he does. He'll give you a little foot fake, he'll look at you, you put your hands down, you see Marcus drop back a little bit. All he needs is a couple inches to get his shot off.
Foul was called on Puck, his first, 15 foul on Albany. Here's Al Rapier. Stony Brook playing without Chris Martin. They've been without Tommy Brenton all season long. Also, Dave Coley, the freshman out of Brooklyn, is out with a knee problem tonight. Rapier turning, hands it off to Carter. His little lefty floater will fall down, and Danny Carter is on the board. His first 2 averaging 5.5 a game.
A good little passing among the big men inside as Al Rapier got the low post feed.
Tim Ambrose.
You can see Marcus Rouse's face. What concentration to try to contain Tim Ambrose.
It's a tough cover for Marcus Rouse as Ambrose gets to the basket for 2 more, and quickly Tim has 8 of Albany's 16.
You bring people on rotation to Tim. He's so strong. Can just keep going off the dribble.
Stony Brook continues to work it back and forth around the perimeter. Now it's Rouse in the corner for Rapier. Dewar, once again, the shot clock down to single digits for Stony Brook.
Doing a nice job, the Great Danes defensively. Don't want to see a kick that late in the possession because they'll eat up some shot clock. But Coach Brown has to feel good about his half-court defense up until this time.
Because of the kick, they'll move the shot clock from 6 up to 15, and it'll be Stony Brook basketball when we come back. With 7:31 to go in the first half, and Albany's on top by 1.
On Long Island, no two hearts are the same, which is why Stony Brook offers so many advanced ways to treat heart disease. From a procedure that can interrupt a heart attack with a simple stent, to heart valve repair that only requires a tiny incision, even robot-assisted bypass surgery. It's why our heart outcomes are among the best in New York, and the thinking you'd expect from an academic medical center. Stony Brook, home of the best ideas in medicine.
Welcome back to Sefco Arena, where Albany has gone in front 16-15 here with 7:31 to go in the first half. And Tim Ambrose, member of the 1,500-point club now at Albany, leading the way with 8 points.
Yeah, pretty neat. But this is one guy that really knows how to create his own shot. Off the dribble, off the catch, ditching his defender out of his vision, and getting to the free throw line because of his ability to absorb contact when he gets tight to the rim.
And Albany will go on offense right out of that timeout. Stony Brook threw it out of bounds, and it will be Albany basketball as Billy Allen will put it into play. He's into the game. For Stony Brook, Anthony Jackson is back on.
Billy Allen with a strong catch-and-shoot presence from deep.
That ball tipped by Rouse, still Albany ball.
Now, and one last thing about Tim Ambrose, at the free throw line for Coach Brown over 100 times each of his 4 seasons, which is really a special thing. You always try to get your guards up in those numbers that approach 100 for a season.
He's been in double figures in all but one game in conference play, and he's right on the doorstep here already in the first half with 13 minutes gone by, and Albany on top by 1.
So what we're seeing now from Albany is a small lineup. All guards for the most part at the 1 through 4 position.
Black had to force it up with the shot clock winding down. Another good defensive series for Stony Brook. We've seen Albany dig in on the defensive end and make it tough on the Seawolves all night long. Shot clock keeps winding down to single digits, it seems, every possession.
Yeah. And Stony Brook is reversing the ball. They're probing, but not enough going inside. There's not many gaps to dribble, and they've had a few passes inside, but they're not really penetrating the zone defense like they'd like.
Dewar getting a rest. Now Jackson will try to find a spot. Couldn't make it, and now Black in a race with Carter down the court. Good job by Danny Carter to get back. Watts is going to try a 3. This one he'll make.
Yeah, for the Seawolves, not enough conversation as they went back on defense in terms of who was guarding who, and Ralph winds up wide open, cashes in on it.
Largest lead here for Albany at 4. Job by the Great Danes defensively here. Another tough shot. That won't go down for Rouse. And no offensive rebound for Stony Brook. Ambrose up to Black. Now back to Tim Ambrose.
Much better conversion by Seawolves that time. They were talking. They got matched up in their fast break conversion defense.
Broken up by Carter. Turnover by Albany.
Careless play, just a careless play by Luke.
7 turnovers now for the Great Danes. Joyner has it.
And there's some
feed to Hayes. Well done.
Yeah, really well done. Was penetration with the pass into the low post. Lenny Hayes just cut right through that defense. That's penetration of the zone. 1 with the pass, 2 with the cut.
Two-point lead for Albany. Stony Brook, 10 of their points have come off Albany turnovers, and a foul called on Stony Brook.
Real important now for the Seawolves against this matchup, not to become too perimeter. This shows the break, pass inside. Now you're breaking down the defense. Cut by Lenny Hayes. Now you're breaking down the zone defense. You get an easy basket in the play. They've got to avoid just passing the ball around the horn. But what a couple weeks this guy has had.
Last 7 games, Frank, right on cue. Look at those numbers for a guy who, in the first 18 games this year for Stony Brook, had scored a grand total of 10 points, did not play in 6 of those 18 games, scored a career-high 22 against Maine, and like you said with Steve Pikel, you play well, he's going to try it, and he'll ride you for a while as that whistle stops play.
Lenny Hayes just playing well in the second semester. That's what it is, but he's really been a terrific addition. Stony Brook was struggling scoring points as a group. He's come in, he's made some baskets, taken some pressure off of Brian Doerr.
Hayes has the basketball. Rouse has had to head to the bench with 2 personal fouls. Doerr is back on, 4:40 to play.
As we said, the Great Danes playing a very small lineup. John Puck and 4 perimeter players, and you can do that in this zone defense.
Mayo tries to take it at Puck. The follow-up by McAllister is good.
Good heads-up play by Eric McAllister. Great Danes were not blocking out on the shot attempt. Eric just found some blue sky and tipped it in.
McAllister did not score in the win against Maine, but he has 4 here tonight on the road against Albany. Even again at 19. Puck determined to do something with it. The left hand won't go. And the rebound for Mayo.
For some reason they liked that matchup right there. They were determined to go to low post to John Puck.
Too strong. McAllister, another offensive rebound and another chance here for Stony Brook thanks to McAllister. Verboye in trouble, but gets out of trouble. Couldn't score though, and a foul is called on Verboye. That should be 1-on-1 on the other end. Second personal foul on Verboye, and a trip to the free throw line when we come back to Sefcu Arena. We're even at 19 between Albany and Stony Brook.
America East is on the rise. We're on the move. We have so many strengths in this conference, from the students who are making a difference in their communities to our alumni who are changing the world.
Ultimately, we're about preparing young people for the rest of their lives. I'm very proud to say in America East, we do a great job.
Every day, we're helping to create leaders. We've accomplished so much, but we're just getting started.
Newman's Own. It all started with Paul Newman's homemade salad dressing. Soon others joined the family. Now we've jumped from the salad bowl into the pizza pan with Newman's Own pizza. All natural, thin and crispy crust, generously topped with top-of-the-crop toppings for cheese, pepperoni, supreme, and more. Newman's Own Foundation continues Paul Newman's commitment to donate all profits to charity. Newman's Own is proud to sponsor the America East Basketball Championships at the University of Hartford, March 3rd through 6th.
Two teams tight in the standings, just a half game apart. A tightly contested game so far. We're even at 19. It's your chance to get the best tasting tickets in town. For a limited time, buy tickets to the America East Men's and Women's Basketball Championship and get a coupon for a free all-natural thin and crispy pizza from Newman's Own. Choose from 4 cheese, pepperoni, supreme, and many more. Visit AmericaEast.com for more information. Trip to the free throw line here. 1-and-1 for Albany's Ralph Watts. 42% from the line this season. Watts has knocked down a 3 so far in this game. And we'll have a chance at the free throw line here to add to his total.
Ralph was a redshirt player last year. Might be one of the more versatile wing players that they have. Brings great energy each time he comes down. He surprises you every now and then, can make a deep 3.
Had a left ankle sprain in the non-conference part of the schedule for Albany, so that slowed him down a little bit here in his redshirt freshman season, but he comes through with a couple of free throws. 5 points for Watts.
Again, we see this up the court, little bit of a trap around half court, creating a turnover by the Great Danes. You know, they had played that a lot softer on the other possessions. That was really the first time where they sprung the trap. And Coach Brown right at midcourt, so real good deception.
And you've seen plenty of times with Will Brown. You've got to expect there's going to be everything but the kitchen sink on defense at times. A little different look.
Yeah, absolutely. Had a lot of junk in his pocket in terms of changing multiple defenses, but that's stuck with this matchup zone. Has been very comfortable with it during the course of this season.
So it's Albany basketball after the 4th turnover for Stony Brook. There's Tim Ambrose. Boyer defending him. Boyer has 2 fouls, as does Rouse and McAllister. Metcalf with 2 for Albany. He's watching from the bench. 5 on the shot clock. Ambrose has it blocked by Boyer with 2 on the shot clock. He'll be Albany ball.
You can see that Tim Ambrose, power, fearless, going down the lane, trying to get to the rim.
What's the play here? 2 on the shot clock. You bring in Aaron Hall.
Yeah, you quick catch and shoot to the short corner. Bring Logan off some staggered screen right here. Here he comes to the short corner.
The feed instead to Black on the inside. He couldn't finish. And Dewar has it for the Seawolves. Dewar, the flip out to Hayes. Hayes strong to the hoop, and he draws a foul.
Very strong move by Leonard Hayes. How about his ability? He's a left-handed player. Put the ball on the floor with his right hand, got past his defender, and got himself to the free throw line. This is one of the things that Leonard does very well. Puts the ball on his right hand, sometimes pulls up. Here he just shows a little bit of a floater, and just a little bit too aggressive by the big fella who blocked that last shot earlier, John Puck.
That's the second personal on Puck as Hayes misses the free throw. Stay tuned for the America East Halftime Report. We'll have the first half stats and highlights, and we'll have a conversation with UAlbany Director of Athletics, Dr. Lee McElroy. That's all coming up on the America East Halftime Report. Hayes with 6 points now after making 1 of 2 from the free throw line, coming off 16 points in that overtime win against Maine in a career-high 41 minutes. 1 point Albany lead. Ambrose.
Good job by the Seawolves, helping out to the Tim Ambrose.
Oh, good job by Watson. Return to dish it inside to Devlin.
Sure was. Luke just having the presence on the weak side to have his hands ready, the ability to catch it quickly and put it in before the rotation defense can get to him.
4 points for the freshman from Sydney, Australia, averaging 7 a game. 3 point Albany lead. 6 team fouls on Albany, so they played good defense without putting Stony Brook into the 1-and-1 as of yet.
Exactly right, Eric, and that's what this zone has done for the Great Danes this season.
And a turnover by Stony Brook, stepping out of bounds before the drive to the basket.
You know, this freshman, Luke Devlin, has very good skills and good hands. Watch his presence just being available. You can see he moved his body on an angle so the shot wouldn't get blocked. That's smart, intelligent play by number 11, White, on the weak side as the defense rotates.
Inside of 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Albany shooting 45% from the field. They have held Stony Brook to 31% shooting from the field, but a miss this time for the Great Danes, and Hayes brings it up quickly. So far, Brian Dewar's been held in check. 0 for 2, both his field goal attempts coming from outside the three-point line. No points. He's held scoreless in the game against Maine, then turned it on in the final 45 minutes with 20 points.
Seawolves shooting 30% right now from the field.
The feed from Joyner to Hayes, cutting to the basket.
Same play we saw before. Feed the post. Lenny Hayes, active cutting to the goal. Easy basket.
Hayes leading Stony Brook in scoring with 8 here in the first half. Aaron Alt's three is no good. Preboye has the rebound. Stony Brook down by 1 with the ball. And a timeout being called by Steve Peichel with under a minute to play here in the first half. And Albany on top 23-22. They have turned Albany over 8 times as Stony Brook. And they've gotten contributions once again from Leonard Hayes, who's tried 9 shots here tonight.
Yeah, and just look at a simple cut to the basket after feeding the post. Call that a go cut by Leonard against the zone. Really has found a nice way to score points.
How about the storylines for the Seawolves? Dewar with those 20 points in the second half in OT in that very impressive victory over the Maine Black Bears. No seniors dressing here tonight. As mentioned, Chris Martin out of the lineup now for Stony Brook, battling a knee problem. So 4 freshmen have been in a pretty steady rotation, although Coley not dressing tonight. And it does start with defense, although tonight Albany's been able to shoot 41% from the floor, but outside the three-point line, Albany's 2 of 9 for 22%. So that's where Stony Brook's defense has been good all season long on the perimeter.
And they're in one of those scoring droughts that they've had many times this season, the Seawolves, where they just don't shoot above 40%. Currently 9th in the conference at 37% overall in the season.
45 seconds to go in the first half. Dewar will work it. 7 on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. 2 on the shot clock. 1 on the shot clock. He gets it off just in time, does Joyner. Seen that a lot here tonight for Stony Brook, though, waiting for an end of the possession to try to get something going. And now a timeout called by Albany with the shot clock turned off and 26.5 to go here in the first half. Well, Frank, we've talked a little bit tonight about Leonard Hayes, who has really emerged as kind of a scoring threat here for the Stony Brook team. Here is Steve Peichel talking about Hayes.
He's done a great job. He's really given us another dimension on it. He's taken a lot of pressure off Brian Dewar. You know, he's a good passer. He's really focused on his defense too. We're getting some real good minutes out of him, and you know, hopefully that'll continue.
Well, certainly one of the feel-good stories of the year for the Stony Brook fans. You know, his minutes have doubled in the last 3 weeks. His scoring average has doubled. Played only in spots earlier in the season, in and out of the game last year. Just came in off the bench and was aggressive. Now he's coming in off the bench and actually in the starting lineup and being consistent rather than just spotting play here and there.
Hayes out on the court with Carter, Joyner, Rapier, and Dewar, the 5 for Stony Brook.
But Leonard Hayes, 12 letters at the Lawrenceville School athletically.
Is that good?
Yeah, let's see. You play a lot of sports to get those.
It keeps you busy.
You only get 1 per sport, I think, per year.
15 to go in the first half. Shot clock is off. Black takes his time, and now inside of 10 has to go. 6. Watts, and thrown away.
Stony Brook did a good job, frustrating for Coach Brown, certainly when you go in for the last shot, but really a good job defensively by the Seawolves, making no passing outlets available. So you see the Great Danes will just move up now and contest this long shot at the end of the half.
Dewar will step up at half court. Good if it goes, and it's off the rim and the backboard, no good. And we are at halftime here at Sefview Arena. Tim Ambrose had 8 points to lead Albany in scoring, and Leonard Hayes counted with 8 of his own for the Stony Brook Seawolves. Ambrose 8 for Albany as they have a 23-22 lead here at halftime. When we come back, we'll have a conversation with Dr. Lee McElroy and our halftime report with Albany on top by 1 at the break.